All right, guys, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Kevthedev00 here. So we're back at it again, folks. Where we at now? Episode 3. We're back at it, episode 3, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Kevthedev00. Here on my channel, I talk about everything from developing, designing, those technical skills, as well as those soft skills that are needed to land that first dev job. If it's something that interests you, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. All right, let's crack it open, folks. Let's crack it open. So we're gonna get at it here. Oh, I got the itchy nose. I hate it. Excuse me if you watching this. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So I was driving around a couple days ago, right? Driving around, and I'm noticing I was grabbing some breakfast. The joint I was going to was maybe 15 minutes away, and as I was driving around, I noticed so many people were driving so fast. On my way there to the place, I look around and I'm looking at the coffee shop, like Starbucks, all these places, people quickly running in and running out. And I'm highlighting that to say that society has placed this stamp on us to move quickly. Gotta go. And I feel like I want to bring this up because I feel like that all that mentality this poured out in society, I feel like it's gonna pour into you as it relates to get out of what you're in quickly. Let's leave this job. Let's get over here to coding fast. Let's just go make this quick, fast money that everybody keeps saying we'll make once we start learning code. Like, it's gonna be super quick, fast, and it's gonna be right away, like as fast as like yesterday. And that is not the case. That's gonna get you a wrong and very bad mentality. You should not rush this process. You cannot afford to rush this process. I want to talk today about why are you moving so fast? I talked to many mentees and just people in general who are interested in coding, aspiring to be a developer, or so they feel like they are. They don't quite even know still if it's for them. But I find them wanting to move it very quickly. They want to just leave what they're doing, and they just can't. They hate their job. This is not what they signed up for. They hear about coding. Everybody's doing it now. It's the hot new thing. It's been around forever. But the point I'm making in it is they feel like they have to do this quickly. I need to learn this quickly. Even me being a boot camp instructor, I notice how people kind of come in and just fly through the work. And they kind of treat it kind of like how you did in school. You just kind of did whatever just to pass to get to the next phase. The only difference is now it's coming out of your pocket. And then the information you don't retain truly affects you. It affects your growth. You not only have just lost money, you also lose time. And that makes no sense to me. Take your time. Take your time. This podcast is a friendly reminder for you to take your time. Coding is a process. It is a journey. It is never ending. Relax. Allow yourself the time to think. Allow yourself the time to understand those critical yet simple fundamental concepts. If that's even a combination of things. Let's just say fundamentals and concepts. But regardless, allow yourself the ability to take your time with it. You have to take your time with those. And you have to understand that the money will be there. The money will be there. The opportunity is going to be there. You just got to be able to take your time in the process. So, some good tips on how to take your time. Because I have two sets of audiences that I speak with. My ones that don't have kids. They're fairly young. And they can do that grind of coding pretty much all day, and then they go, work their little regular jobs, whatever it may be, because they're young. They probably haven't got into a career. It's just a job right now, whatever they're doing. And they have the ability to be very flexible when it comes to learning. They have time to spare. Now, on the other hand, my other audience, these are adults. These are people who they've been living life. So they already have the kids. They already been married for years and have swapped careers. Heck, some have been so attached to their career, probably over a decade, and are looking to break away. So that's my other audience. But what I do know is both of them will have this tendency of wanting to move quick. Now, even with my one who have time to spare like that, you still have to take your time. It's a lot to bring in. Code is a lot to take in, as well as my ones who have kids. You already know how that works. You're not making a thing happen till those kids go to sleep. That's just how it is. Or when everybody is asleep, and that's what I do. Prime example: I'm doing my podcast now. Pretty much everybody is almost asleep. So this is the time to kind of have your moment, burn your night oil, if you will. So this is what I want you to think about is ways to pace yourself. First of all, let's take it one thing at a time. You should be focusing on HTML when you first start to learn code. Learn these basics. This is the basic structures. This is the building block of code. This is how you see the content that's in the browser. Take your time and learn those fundamentals. It's very simple. The concepts are very simple. Just get it. Go to a site. You can go. There's plenty of them out there, guys. I always tell you about W3 Schools. Go play there on that site. You find a text editor. VS Code that I mentioned. Code it out. Put it on the browser, or like the screen. Go put it on Chrome or whatever browsing tool you use, and see what it looks like. Once you get a good understanding of at least half of those tags or elements that are used like to show content on the screen, then you can go to CSS. All right. So these are the steps, but I want to highlight more so the times, because I don't want to go through the whole spew of the steps. I mean, as far as what you need to know, I've already stressed that. I can't stress it enough. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Just the 3 pillars, period, to get started in web development. I want to highlight the time management, though. It's for my ones who have time to spare. Give yourself, go ahead and crank it about an hour or so straight. I mean, ideally, if you really got that kind of time, you should be turning out to about 3 hours. On and off, go bathroom break, get a bite to eat or something, but you should be dedicated a hard 2 to 3 hours maybe of coding. Now, my ones who have kids, whenever you have time, your spurt's gonna look a little different. So a whole day's worth with somebody who has time needs to be roughly about 6 hours. I don't know. Yes, I was in the middle of recording. I'm almost done. Like I'm literally like in record mode, and like I may actually even put this little sound bite in the video. All right, so for my ones who have time to spare, roughly your day should finish with maybe 6 to 8 hours. Just being honest, if you just have that kind of time, 6 to 8 hours of coding, you should be able to do that. Whatever that looks like throughout the day, maybe 6 to 8 hours. That's pretty maxed too, by the way. But I'm just saying, if we're striving high, aiming high, then you can pace yourself at that. Other than that, though, my ones who have time to spare, I know 6 or 8 is on the high end, which is encouraged if you have the time for it. But if you can at least squeeze it to about 3 hours for the day, I think that's more than enough. 3 to 4 hours will be good. Now, my parents, ones who have kids and stuff, your time is a little different. Now, granted, you need about 3 hours a day too, if you can get it. 2 to 4 hours, somewhere in there, that little sweet spot. Again, this is for the ones that are parents. You're gonna do this in like spurts, though. You understand? When I'm talking about the ones who have time, they have time to spare. They can crank about 2 hours straight. That's not happening with anybody who have kids, and if you have a busy lifestyle in the midst of that, in your full time, 30 minutes at a time, 20 minutes at a time. But it needs to be somewhere within that frame. 30 minutes is very low, but it can count. It's impactful. You'll be very strategic on what you're getting ready to cover right there. I will 30 minutes. I'm covering probably one solid topic. Think about that. So it's 3 hours a day, 30-minute increments. So what's that? We sitting on 4 sessions. 30. I definitely counted it wrong. 30. So 6 sessions. My bad. So that's what we're looking for. I think we could sit down. I know, even with a busy schedule, you probably got a good about 4 or 5 times. You could probably sit down for a quick 30 minutes. And don't rush it. Just grab a topic, grab it by the horns, and just hang on to it for 30 minutes at a time. Cover that one in 30 minutes. Come back, cover another one in 30 minutes. If you do that on a daily or every other day basis, in a month or two, you're going to grab some concepts. You're going to grasp some things. If you do that and follow the trail, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. Pacing yourself is key. Don't burn yourself out early. Don't sit here and feel like you got to build a Twitter clone right away, or build out Amazon. Like that's not happening. We're way too early for that. Way too early in the game. We're trying to just get a landing page. That's just like the main page you go to when you go to a website. That kind of page. That's it. That's all we're trying to do right now. Just take our time and build that out. So pace yourself. We're striving to a landing page first. All right. Once we get a landing page that looks good, then we'll start interacting with that landing page. That's the next phase. Have it do something, a button click, and then even if it alerts, hello, welcome to the store. After about 6 seconds of being on that page, have an alert pop up, hey, something like that. Then we're itching towards closer and closer to getting into some more advanced concepts with JavaScript, and then you can start to pivot to whatever you have an interest in. That's when you can either niche down if you're a freelancer and probably do some content management systems, or if you're looking to get your first dev job, like real dev roles to the content management type roles, then you can start applying for your front-end developer, front-end engineer, like something very, very, your junior level, something very simple, right? They requires those same skills. All right. So it's all about how you pace yourself. This can be realistic, but you're going to make it a huge hill to climb if you do not be mindful of your time, especially ones who barely have time to spare. But you got to make it count. I'm almost going to say daily though, but if at least every other day. But something has to be done actively. Your mind has to stay active on this stuff. Anything worth having requires work. Before I even done this, I used to be up wee hours of the night, midnight to about 3 a.m. Many nights, many months. Heck, even almost a year or two of it, just plugging away. And I went a slow route. And then I went in freelancing, and then I got some professional opportunities, and this is where I am now. And it's a very unique situation, but it took me having the mindset. I already knew what was ahead. I already heard it on the videos and stuff, which that was no problem for me. I already told you in the other podcast, having the mindset. That's how you get started. But once you get started, you got to keep up a realistic pace. All right. You are the pace setter. So you got to be to take your time in the process and do not rush it. All right. So I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. But I wanted to highlight that here in this podcast. Take your time, work through it. Code is ever changing. Do not get caught up in this shiny object syndrome. Don't get caught up in that. All right, you're gonna hear all kind of fancy new stuff. I know ChatGPT's hot. Then go play around trying to build something around that right now. Let's stay in our lane here. We're trying to strive to get into the game, starting off for starters, and then we are definitely trying to find that junior level role, just somewhere where we can get started and build up our skills. So that's gonna be very advantageous of you to remember that. All right. Now for that, folks, again, Kevthedev00, it just feels good. I like doing these podcasts. I can kind of just talk and jabber, and you can just jump around on the video if you like. I have the audio, trying to get it set up here on the platform I'm going to have it on. So bear with me. So I hope I can have that worked in. But other than that, it feels good doing this. It's an outlet for me as well. But I want to just help as many people as possible, letting you know that whatever job you're at right now, if you're looking for something different, you've already done all that stuff is getting played out, you're not getting enough. Because this is why people job hop, to be honest, because you're not finding your sense of purpose. It's not either challenging you enough the way you need it to challenge you. I understand a lot of jobs are challenging. They're very annoying, and it has nothing to do with what you have an interest in, and it does not bring the good fire out of you. It brings some bad stuff out of you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that really inspire you, give you that oomph to do more naturally because of the interest it gives you, and it makes you feel like you've got some self-worth, some value, not just personally but professionally. And this does that. That ability to also be able to work remote, this does that. So that ability to be able to even freelance, be your own boss, this does that. Job security, don't get fooled by the layoffs and all that stuff. Don't get it confused. Like some of these roles that were layoffs, again, I already told you, or like roles that can be replaced by AI. That's what most of them are. Or at the same time, companies projected high and their returns were low. And you just got to make it match up. And that's what happened. People get moved on. But I can assure you, most of them who have probably been laid off have immediately found something within weeks. Sometimes I've even heard of some cases, days. So that just comes with it, guys. That's anything. To me, your goal is to get in. Don't find excuses. If you're looking for something different, no need for excuses. I'm going to leave you on that. All right, again, Kevthedev00. If you're loving what you're hearing, please stay locked in. Sub it if you're not there, because I'm looking right now. I may have the stats on the screen, but half of you, or a little under half of you, almost have, or not subbed. Go ahead and smash that sub button. Give me that thumbs up. And we will be back for the next one. I think the next one will probably be either a podcast again. I like to switch it up, or just my typical YouTube video. We'll see. Other than that, we will see you in the next one. Peace.